Timelines Talks presents Timelines Players of Genius.
Timelines Players of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Builds a Threshold Cruise Equipment Guy.
Mr. Builds a Threshold Cruise Equipment Guy.
Saving chronotons has never felt sweeter, but there's just one problem. You've been programmed for years to press that yellow button no matter what.
Dance, monkey dance.
You thought you'd just get ready to craft, but never has pressing a button felt so wrong.
Try again.
Now it's time for the walk of shame in your fleet's Discord. Maybe he needs 2 gold uniforms. It's just a few crowns. We've all done it, right guys?
I don't think so.
So crack open an ice cold supply kit, Galaxy Guy, because your inventory is overfull and that uni isn't going anywhere.
Mr. Builds a Threshold Cruise Equipment Guy.
Timeline Stalks, a Trek Time subsidiary, Hollywood, California.
Welcome
Welcome
to Timeline Talks.
to the Timeline Talks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talk. Featuring guest stars, Don LaFontaine's non-union equivalent, it's Danjevin. Also featuring Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Look out, it's Automaton 2000. Your sleep paralysis demon, welcome Frank. And now, the man with the chatter, he doesn't have a bladder. Here's your host, Captain Idol.
Yes, welcome everybody to the Timeline Talks, your premium exclusive #1 show for all things Star Trek Timelines. This is episode 1. There are no other shows like this on the internet anywhere. This is the first time.
This is episode 1. There are no...
And as always, here comes Shai with the
professionalism moment.
The first episode is going to be rife with technical difficulties. We don't know what we are doing. We've never done this before.
No, this is the first stream I've ever done in my life. I hope this all works. I hope the audio's guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is it all okay? Evening, everyone in chat this evening. How are we all? Gentlemen, Dan, Frank, thank you for joining me on this auspicious occasion of launching a brand new show. I mean, I often feel like the Star Trek Timelines community has been very underrepresented in terms of, like, you know, podcasts and fees. We've had the Big Book podcast, which has been servicing excellently the needs of the crew requirements, but never has there been a video streamed podcast like this. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this auspicious night. All day.
This, there used to be some guys. I seem to have some vague recollection of some real morons that used to get on and just bungle it up every couple of weeks or so. But I'm really glad that now we can.
I think our host was a bit of a dick.
We could just set the record straight and just deliver you a quality program that perhaps the #1 premium program for all things timelines. So.
Exactly. And we also have Frank here with us as well. Frank, how are you this fine evening?
Well, shocked that an 8.5-year-old mobile game with such an esteemed following and base of players and just a community around it, really, it never has had a streaming talk show about it. That just blows my mind, because
crazy.
All these other mobile games, I've got a SpongeBob game on my phone. It's got 3 Twitch streams dedicated to it. I mean, one of them's in some weird language I've never heard of. It's made out of French, I think. I don't know.
No one wants to watch that. But you would have thought, you know, let's say for instance, you know, the game's been, like you say, game's been going 8.5 years. Let's say, like, you know, back in, say, 2020, some guys came across and said, like, hey, let's start up a video. They could have had 100 episodes by now. They could have had 100 episodes on this show, but no, didn't happen. So we're here.
A program like that really should have just followed through and gotten to 100 episodes. You think?
Really should have, you know, really should have done it. Should have sort of strapped themselves down and thought, you know what, we're really going to celebrate 100 episodes and do it properly. But yeah, and yes, I am wearing a robe. This is my formal robe. This is the Timeline Talks robe. Thank you, Genos, in chat.
What's the difference between a robe and a dressing gown for you Brits?
I don't know. I think they are the same thing. I don't know. A robe feels more formal. A robe feels like something you'd wear around the house, where a dressing gown is something you wear, like, occasionally between the bathroom and the bedroom. What about in the Americas?
Oh, are we wearing robes? Please hold.
Yeah, let me just get this off here.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. Yes, this is Robe Talks, the #1 show for all things evening wear and evening gowns. Anyway, whilst Frank is gowning up, we have a monster show. Well, we have a show ahead of us today. Talking about timelines, we're going to go over some new crew. We've got some. Fair. Oh, a plate. That is the most Canadian robe I've ever seen.
And it's a mistake because it's like 95 degrees outside, and I'm wearing this ginormous robe. This is going to end very badly.
Did you go over to Nifty's house and steal that?
Who?
Nifty, you know, that guy from the Big Book podcast who's no?
I don't.
Oh no!
I don't
no,
watch.
that's true. Two of you have never been in the same room together. We're going to talk about some new crew. We're going to talk about the upcoming Voyage event type. We've got a few new things. We've got a showdown, and yes, Mifty Nittens, of course, that famous person. But before we do that, just a reminder to everyone, all jokes aside, charity show on May the 19th. Please come and join us. We'll be streaming for many, many hours, all in support of the World Central Kitchen, who are delivering food and aid to deprived communities and war-torn areas, doing some amazing work in Gaza at the moment. You might have heard recently that some of their people out there, sadly, were inflicted a bombing upon themselves from the Israeli government. Several lives were lost. It was very tragic. So please come along May 19th. Help us raise some money for the World Central Kitchen and try and feed everyone, even for the people that need it the most. We'll have a lot of fun things going on. We've got interviews, we've got games, we've got Star Trek Adventures, we've got quizzes, we're going to have giveaways, we've got all the normal stuff you've seen for the last 4 years on the charity show that we've done previously. So please come and join that. Also, as we mentioned earlier as well, go and check out the Big Book Podcast. These guys can tell you more about it. It's the Big Book Podcast. You've now celebrated your 11th episode, now gone out. Is up on the feed now on the podcasts and on the YouTube channel as well as on bigbook.app. How is the pod, Dan? You are spearheading this project like a madman. How is that going for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say spearheaded. More of like a kind of a blunt garden instrument. But yeah, we're making it happen every few weeks or so. It's a lot of fun. I got a lot of great guys with me. It's Mifty Nittens is a notable. Jenna Sedani and of course our esteemed Frank here. And every once in a while we get a visit from Automaton 2000. In his game retirement, he usually shows up and heckles us mercilessly. If you like the nerdiest possible Your Mama jokes, tune into the most recent episode. Yeah, you can stock up on that. Frank, it's been great having you on the Big Book Podcast. How has that been going for you? Are you cursing under your breath?
As long as the check clears, I don't care. I mean, 'cause I uninstall this game daily. So yes, I'll come talk about it. Sure, absolutely.
It's got 16 copies installed at any time.
Yes,
we can't talk to him until at least 2 or 3 minutes into the episode because it's how long it takes him to get the APK back on his Android phone. So.
He's got several custom versions. He's got 7.2. He's got 9.1. He's like a real like people that install Winamp too. It's like, no, I'm not moving on. I'm not using any other player. I'm only playing Timelines Classic.
Winamp.
Really kicks the llama's ass. Okay. I'm going to start a new section, which I am calling which previously we had shouting out for events. Well, that was when we were doing this every week. When people were doing this every week. If this were going out every week, we would do that, but we're not going to. Quickly backtrack. Instead, I'm going to call this is now This Cisco Memorial Hall of First to Maxes, where we will shout out First to Maxes that have been achieved recently, apart from any that have been done by this Cisco, who seems to do them all. And maybe Frank too, but since you're here, maybe I can't shun you that much. So
I uninstalled. I don't do them.
Way to start shouting at making enemies within the first 5 minutes of the show too. So
oh yeah,
I mean, I guess you got a name drop, but yeah.
This is a new attitude. We've got.
Don't even try.
This is a new attitude. This is a new thing. There's no fucks given, including certain companies that may make this game. So. Going down the list, Lieutenant Sam Kirk, the 4-star, was immortalized by Frank.
No,
Frank was
no. I don't have the game installed. I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Okay.
And I absolutely, I didn't install it on Monday to take a screenshot for somebody. Literally, the only time I install this game is when somebody in Discord asks a question, and I install it to take a screenshot to answer the question. And then once a week I'll pop in, like if there's a Tuesday pack, I'll pop in on Wednesday, buy the event pack, buy the Tuesday pack because I just sit upon this, Smaug-esque mountain of dill. So I don't actually spend any money. I'm just eliminating resources I have. Buy the crew I'm missing, turn off the game for a week. Goodbye. So I turned on the game Monday to take a screenshot for somebody. And in thanks for being helpful, I was greeted on... Well, thank you. I was greeted on Dabo with Lieutenant Sam Kirk, who, for anybody that's ever been stuck in the hell of YouTube recommendations or YouTube shorts, there's a comedian, Mateo Lane, that is basically what this artwork is based off of. I think he should sue for royalties. Anyway, bought it off Dabo and leveled it and left it at with one piece of equipment to put on, and waited until Tuesday when the pack dropped to equip it and then uninstall the game, and laughed as just the Homer Simpson gif of lighting the match and burning the bridge as I drive over it, going ha 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 ha, ha, and realizing it's going to happen again next week.
Timeline's trolls.
On a more serious note, Ensign Mesk was immortalized first FTM'd by Sartorius. Congratulations, Sartorius. Vineyard Boimler by ASOG, also from SSR. And, excuse me, my throat's really playing me up this evening. Orion Hurricane Ortegas was immortalized. Oh my god, what's going on? The ghost of stars has got into my lungs.
Idle's been under the weather this week, so thanks for making sure we're on time today.
Orion Hurricane Ortegas was immortalized by Rest in Peace Hindsight.
Rest in peace, Hindsight.
Let me mute for a second while I get this out of me.
God, this hack frauds, man. We work with amateurs.
Yeah.
Hacking frauds.
Anyway, sorry.
And I'm gonna be high.
Yeah.
A brief moment.
Shy points out it's going to be Rest in Peace Idle pretty soon here too. So.
This will be the first and only the timeline talks. Okay. Let's talk about something that might be appearing in the game. WRG. Wait a minute. No.
Who?
TPG? HG Games?
HG.
Yeah.
HG Wells.
H.G. Wells had a stream recently and unveiled his brand new book, The Time Machine. It was fantastic, and then he created a radio play about aliens or something.
The common letter of all these just doomed to fail companies is G. So just call them G.
G Games. The G Games.
G
yeah. They're down with it.
Gee whiz, they have another name this week.
Yes. Another new logo, another new game. Well, so they had a stream very recently, their last developer stream, where they went over a few things, and there was a reason I uninstalled the game for a little bit as well, and I'm now playing back again. I'm back in, but I believe they were talking about new event types and new things that were happening, new crew, and one member of the chat rightly asked, hang on, and may have asked it several times, and that might have been me, said, well, who are HG Games? Because all of a sudden we have this new logo. Wicked Realm Games gone. Now it's HG Games. To which, and I quote, Joe said, well, WRG never really existed as a legal entity. And I'm like, at the moment I had to step back and went a minute, hang on a minute. Hold on a cotton pick a minute. Like, you had your logo plastered all over the front of the game. You had merchandise made for yourselves. You had a staff. You had us come on and introduce you as WRG. You had WRG as your Twitter handle and as your YouTube handle. You're now going to tell me you weren't a legal entity? I was just like sat there and I was stunned because I thought it was just going to be a case of like, oh yeah, they've moved the project over there and we're managing it. It's like, no, it just never existed. I'm like, what?
What's the Star Trek version of gaslighting? Is it antimatter lighting? I don't know.
It's green candle lighting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think my Android screen has burn-in from the Wicked Realm Games logo. I mean, it's not like it was never a thing before. I just how do you copyright something that strange?
It's so bizarre, and it does kind of explain, because now they've got this HG Games, and HG Games are based out of somewhere in Eastern Europe, is from what I've heard.
Armenia.
Is it? Is it really Armenia?
Yes.
Wow.
It's Armenia.
Okay. It's based out in Armenia. So this is all we knew. There was remote work going on, and kind of, we always thought it was more CS than anything. But no, these are actually, and been told these guys have been developing and working on the game since 2021, which is no significant amount of time. Thank you for the suspense music. that's no significant amount of time for never hearing about these people who have been working on the game. And we always kind of knew there was a little bit of disconnect between like Ben and Joe and
You must
Carmen.
think me a fool to make your lies so transparent.
Thank you, Janos. And yeah, now we're hearing about this company, and apparently they've been doing like a lot of the back end work. So like, no wonder we often felt like left hand wasn't talking to right hand here. Like it was very much like, yeah, they're in a completely different country and speak a different language.
The more amusing thing to me, for those that really get down into the weeds and have an unhealthy relationship with, you know, the company and the goings on. Hi, my name's Frank.
This is a safe place. It's okay.
Thank you. Good. Okay. Well, then, Father, I'd like to confess. Oh, God. It amuses me when this revelation came out that there was massive staff layoffs to TPG Games, and they were replaced by HG Games. Everybody, it was basically one for one. Oh, you do this? Nope, sorry, that's now over in Armenia now. What were these people doing? Because Armenia took over a little bit before the layoffs, and they were, to be fair, they were working on other things in-house, and in-house, the big parent company, Tilting Point, said, oh, well, we don't need 17 product managers for all these games, because it's not like they're shovelware, but they are. So, you know, they cut some fat, and they continue to do it. And like right now, they finished development of their James Bond game, so they pulled off the product manager of the James Bond game.
We need a biomolecular physiologist in here. This man
I
is
am
dying.
Pulled off the product lead of the James Bond game and put her over to Timelines, which is like great. But now you have 3 American-based employees working on the game and 22 working overseas, different time zones. Are they really talking? Because it just doesn't seem like it. It seems like, you know, and plus the whole drama of the US-based team also responsible for some other game that I won't dignify by saying its name. Legends.
Hey Frank, how many active players are there in Star Trek Legends right now?
Hey, well, I'm glad you asked. Right now, if you were to fire up your Steam machine and you were to say, I want to play Star Trek Legends on this planet, this marble, this ball that is floating through the universe, circling a ball of fire up in the sky, hurling around at 25,000 miles an hour, you would be one of only 29 people playing this game that have agreed to part ways with $20.
Sorry, hang on. Are you saying to me the Earth is round? No, we won't go.
Well, allegedly, I think it's more oblong shaped, more like a eggplant, I believe.
Yeah.
Is
I
the
always
word?
heard it was flat and is on the back of 4 giant elephants that was equally on the back of a giant turtle, but maybe that's just me.
That's something your grandma might have said.
That's true. She was eccentric. Which, speaking of my I've been okay. So a real tangent, because that's what we love to do. So I've been watching the 3-Body Problem, which made me go into reading up about Chinese, history and the Cultural Revolution and all that. And then when we were clearing, after my grandmother passed away, clearing out her house, and I found she had a copy of the Little Red Book, Chairman Mao's famous sayings. I'm like, Gran, were you a communist? Fantastic. Okay. But
Good reading.
Anyway,
There's that. Chairman Mao had some great inspiration, great quotes. I like to wake up every day with a Chairman Mao quote.
Oh, yeah, it's okay to just want a little light reading, you know.
Yes.
A small amount of peasant genocide just for an evening.
Just the Communist Manifesto. It's only War and Peace.
Yeah. Anyway, so I can fully imagine that HG Games are doing a lot of the developing crew, keeping things running, CS, and apparently releasing Crew a week earlier because, dates. And I fully believe, because over here in Europe and the UK, we use the proper way of explaining dates, day, month, year. And over there, in the civilized world, you seem to use month, day, year. And I fully believe that they send that over to the Armenian team. They're like, oh, we're releasing all the crew now. Cool, great, let's go. But that's just me. Anyway, so yeah, if you're ever wondering why it's HG Games, There you go. HG Games now run timelines. Ben and Joe work for Tilting Point. This is all a Tilting Point company now. It always, and you know that meme with the astronaut who's in front of Earth, and there's another meme, another astronaut behind him with a gun. He says like, "It's all Tilting Point," and it always has been. That's who DB's.
Next time they run streams, they're gonna have to rebrand them HGTV. Sorry, I had to steal Nifty Mittens' joke there. So.
Well, I mean, somebody needs to go do like a wellness check on them in their own Discord, because their own Discord is very quiet as of late, which is where, you know, the only official place to speak to employees of TP, HG, TV, WSRP, WRKP in Cincinnati employees, and get information on their streams, or let them know, hey, your game crashes every day at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. But that's, you know, they haven't said anything all week. It's still early. It's only Wednesday. Maybe they only work 2 days a week. I don't know.
I think it's not. Was 12 o'clock standard? I think that's about the same time as there's an Armenian sort of national minute of rest. I believe. I think that's what that's for.
Oh,
yeah. General says, I think the mod team has some cool people on it. It had some cool people on it. I was on it at one point, and then I left because I realised that it was all going downhill.
Because people that I'm not naming names, but they just showed up to shitpost and give grief to the mods and make it really hard to be there. I don't know who that would be at all.
Yeah, Dan. I think you're even on.
Shame.
So there is a Discord for there, but as you say, I've left it a while ago because I was doing that thing. You know, when you do that thing, you know, when I quit the game after, you know, finding out that my life is a lie. But after I quit the game, I left the Discord, and I did that thing where you just like, you know, you push out all the negative things in your life. It's like, I'm going to uninstall timelines. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to take my medication on time. I'm going to ignore the children for a week. I don't know, not really. You know, so I did that, and then I think about a week later I reinstalled. So I was only like, I need a little bit of negativity in my life. It just keeps me balanced.
Genosodinian in chat says, I would like to formally request a Your Mom joke. Genos, thank you for your request. This is a Star Trek Timelines show, not a Your Mom joke. And Your Mom's so fat, it would take me 13 minutes just to come up with a joke anyway.
Your mom's so pay to win, I uninstalled her last week.
Love it.
Wow, this is what I'm missing on the Big Book Podcast. This is what you're missing if you don't subscribe and listen to it right now. Yeah, there. Astro Steve W says, if this other company has access to player data all this time and it wasn't disclosed, then someone should read the GDPR. Yeah, the European laws has a lot of laws about where you should keep your data and things like that, and it might need to be addressed. I believe we went down this route back ages ago with the honor hall, the offer wall stuff.
Right. Yeah, No Name Namer put a manifesto in the official forums that was promptly ignored about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. So
not sure exactly what's happened, but yeah, I mean that knowledge is out there. Yeah.
There is something like that. If you can find the post, it's on the forum somewhere. This work has been done, but I don't think it's going to get anywhere because, frankly, no one gives a shit. It's one of those things. Like, yeah, they got your player data, but oh well. So's the data core. But you know, it is a serious thing. But
name me a better iconic duo than No Name Namer calling out something for the community and being ignored. No Name Namer is a champion of this game, its data, protecting that for the players, and bringing the truth to everybody. And I mean, he posted, a log and a manifesto on the forum saying, hey, there's a security flaw, a fatal security flaw in your game where the chat is accessible everywhere, can be spoofed. Just to prove it, hey, here in Discord is the entirety of UC in the chat, and I can also do fleet chat, like I can do anything.
Yes.
And everybody said, okay, and just left it. So
Cranky says rightfully he wasn't just ignored, he was abused for it. Like, we know what the forums are like.
It is a silly place.
It is a very silly place. But he was abused.
Aren't they shutting those down?
From last time I heard that the forums were going to meet their demise, and honestly, that's probably one of the better things for the game. But yes, Sieta, yes, we will talk about the game at some point. But if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of the stats, the Big Book Podcast is for you. That's where the real meat is. That's where I'm not just talking about the hosts, am I right?
Not just talking about having 5 guys on every week. Yeah.
You're running a burger place too. Nice. So, long story short, yeah, you're gonna get, it's a mobile game developer company. I think at one point we cared because Ben was being so nice to us. He was being really nice. He was giving us treats, and still love Ben. He's still a great guy, but I believe he is at mercy of his corporate overlords. And I have now taken this back seat and said, you know what? I'm just gonna look at nice pictures of Star Trek characters each week, and that's quite nice, isn't it?
And keep pushing away again.
When they're nice, sometimes they're not.
Sometimes they are not. Sometimes they look weird, and we'll get onto that. That'll come a little bit later.
That's called a segue in the business.
That is called
folks.
a segue.
But
let's
later.
do that. Yeah, let's do this now. You've segued us lovely into our perfectly cromulent subject. Let me just get rid of this. So some people might have seen, and please direct your eyes to the screen if I can find it. 1 second. Shit, where did I just download those to?
Our viewers have been directing their eyes at the screen for the past 20 minutes, and all they've been getting is griping. So,
hang on, I have completely failed to download something, and I don't know how I did that. Back to the other screen while I work this out. What? Hang on.
So Dan, what's been the highlight for you this week of this game? Let's be positive for a moment, Dan.
Yeah,
name me a positive experience you've had with this game in the last 72 hours.
Oh man, so all right, counting the hours here. Crunchy Crons, I love retrieving, so I got to finish off Kalis, whatever, the writer guy that got me some collection rewards, which was fantastic. My next retrieve is going to be the Fawns, Torchbearer Reject, and I think I'm onto him tomorrow.
Nice.
If you were to be playing the game, what would be exciting you, Frank?
Probably that right now. If you are a spender, if you are a VIP 0 player, Parasite, what have you, this would probably not benefit you. But if you were a player, there has been an offer in the game for 5 whole American dollars, not sure how many Armenian dollars that is. You get 40 legendary replicator rations, which is just mwah. You get 4.5 million credits, which is going with Crunchy Crons enough to do a retrieval right away, and you can get 2 retrievals out of Crunchy Cron. So, but it also comes with a legendary site. So really, it's like 2 sites for $5, which is like crazy. And the offer's capped at 2. But guess what? If you purchase, you can purchase more than 2. I don't know how many it stops at, but people were purchasing more than 2 and just letting them. And that would make me, if I were playing and I needed sites or credits or replicator rations, that would make me very happy, because that's actually a really good deal.
That's interesting.
I think.
It reminds me of...
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it does remind me of sort of like back in the day when we had the Steam sales, the elusive Steam sales.
Oh, yeah.
We could just buy packs for dirt cheap. Like, remember when we had pull streams? Remember when we were pulling packs on this channel, and like we were getting high engagement, loads of people because people love watching people pull packs. Like, I don't get it, but people love watching it. And yeah, then they cut the Steam sales, and we never did it again because fuck your community, I guess.
And it's an endorphin rush. It's why do people go on Twitch and watch these slot machine gamblers? Like, ooh, he's gonna win. I'm not, but he's gonna win. Yay! Oh no, he lost $17,000. Oh.
The joy of going like, right, there's a Steam sale coming up. I'm gonna make 40 Steam accounts, and I'm gonna have them all listed down with all their I had a notebook with all the passwords.
So many fucking golds. I won 40 packs without a gold today.
Just pulled it, and it was those are great. And then they just cut it because anyway, back to what we were talking about with that awesome. Frank, do that segue once more for me.
Sometimes the art can be good that you want to look at, but sometimes it can be bad.
It can. And very recently released was one and only Very Short Trek's Garak, who has possibly, I'm going to say this is the worst animated art of all time. And oh wow, this is professional today, aren't we? Look at my layout. There we go. We do that. Diddle-diddle-diddle. Right, yeah. So we have this possibly AI rendered Garak. I'm not sure what's happened, but if you would like to see here's what you could have won, there is this version, which, my god, the difference is astronomical. Gentlemen, what do you think happened here?
I mean, the one's Andrew Robinson, the other is not. What else is there to say? I don't.
And a lot of times, like with bad art, like if you watch the very short trek, which itself is only 3 minutes, Garrick is in it for a grand total of 5 seconds, and he's not in that exact pose ever. He's close to it, and he's waist up. So there's a lot of artistic liberty there, and
so we've seen this before. We've seen, like, because I think Rescue Team Uhura is taken from Taz, and she is realistically rendered, and that's fine. That works. And ever since they got the animated license, they've sort of stepped away from that. But so when we first saw this art here, we was just like, okay, that's very short Trek's Garrick. They've done the realistic thing because that's fine. Because if you look at the very short Trek one on the screen here, you know, okay, it doesn't look great. But if you compare it to the one that they ended up coming up with, and it's I don't understand how they've gone from A to B. The only way I can explain it is if they took the first one, put it through some AI generator, and it's just gone, here you go, here's your character. Because it looks weird. I don't know. It doesn't look.
The one thing I can't quite figure out is so you zoomed in, so you covered it up, but his feet.
Oh yeah.
Have his pants have stirrups that go around the bottom of his shoe? It doesn't make any sense at all. I just don't get it.
Yeah, my children
like
have those on their
jammies.
On their waterproof.
Right, yeah.
On their waterproofs. Yeah. It's
and then the bad art versus the good art, they're not one for one. Like, there are differences. And it like I don't even know how they got there. I mean, the chair's different, the hands different, parts of the feet and the pose are different. Obviously, the head, but it's very unsettling.
I mean, this
and they don't
like
it doesn't always happen, but
it's strange. It's strange how they can keep looking at these art and go, yes, that's fine. That works for me. That looks really good. Like, I don't know if they're wearing Frank's glasses right now and they can't see beyond the lenses, but it's bizarre. But the worst thing is, like, the new one doesn't even look like the animated one. So what are you getting here? He looks like someone. It doesn't look like Andrew Robinson. That's what I'm getting for. Excuse me. Yeah, so that Garrick's been and gone. But yeah, it's another little art snuffy. We love to moan on this channel. What are you talking about?
It appears we have lost our sex appeal, Captain.
One might wonder if we ever had it.
and the jarring thing about this, they also had Riker from that very same episode as a gold card as a reward for that event. His art it was flat, like the actual animation style was true to it, but it wasn't bad like this. So they've had several of the thank you. Several of the very short tracks, but this is like far and away just
Yeah. Anyway,
and we play this game for the art.
We do play this game for the art. That is absolutely, you're bang on. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I quit.
You quit. Another reason you quit.
I'll never be
like
on the show
Odo in
again.
Cisco's office, like, I'm quitting again. I'm quitting the game. Yeah, and actually, Genos, you raise a good point, because a lot of us do actually play this game for the community that we're in. Like, somehow, you know, and I remember the reason I stayed playing the game was because when I was in the 10F fleet, and I was joined, I liked the people I was with, and then got to know Auto and everyone, and like all the Genos and Cranky and Nifty and Siete and everybody and Overtired and everyone part of this community as well. Like, if I didn't have someone to talk to about this that I liked, would I still be playing it? Would you still be playing it? Who's your favourite person in the community, guys? Please don't say me. Oh, come on, don't.
The Cisco one. Because who else? He takes the hit for all of us. He invests. He gets all those first to maxes. Keeps the lights on. We appreciate you.
I like Lance. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Boy, this is tough. Give me just a moment, Your Honor. There's just so many to choose from. I don't know possibly how. Hold on.
He won't tell you. He's rewatching every episode of some other unnamed podcast right now just to see who he can choose.
I need names. I'm going to tell you what. It is absolutely undisputed Shia porn. Because if I wanted a handsome man whose name I cannot pronounce,
Shut up, Otto,
who can act, who can sleep.
Everyone's watching to see what you will do.
and star on Broadway. I mean, what more can you ask for? And just also being a very active player of some fleet. Steelers, I don't know.
Steeler Nation, represent. Come on.
Who's your favorite?
You're both wrong. The correct answer is everybody, except the people we don't like.
I mean, really, mine's No Name Namer, but I've already shouted him out once, so I don't want to do it twice. But
yeah. I'll say Walt Koenig because he called me out in chat, so yeah.
Nah, there you go. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Okay, so my original segue, well, I was going to do earlier before Frank correctly segued us. The WRG interview, HG Games interview happened recently, also mentioned a new event type coming up. Holy moly, will they invent something new? Will they do something? No, it's a Voyage event, okay? So what was described to us through the means of live stream was that you would send a Voyage out, and you would, at some point during the dilemma, hit some sort of obstacle, would have to solve something, and then you would carry on, or you would retrieve with your possibly VP goodies. Guys, I want you to kind of let's just workshop. How do you think this is going to work in practice? Like, how much victory points you can earn from this? What kind of? I mean, are you just going to do an away team mission at the first stop, or is it going to be something new?
That's what it sounds like.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, I think for a while we thought maybe it would be an away team just because of some hints we got, but then I think that turned into continuum missions. From the stream that we saw, it sounds like it's going to be more of a gauntlet related thing where. And we don't know yet whether it's going to be PvP with other people out in voyages during the event, or whether there'll be some NBCs, some PvE that we get to go up against that'll get progressively harder as we travel. But one thing's for certain is I'm saving my merits and saving my dilithium and saving my voyage tokens, and we'll see.
Hoarding?
You got to hoard in this game, and so for a while we couldn't figure out why at the time WRG. The artist formerly known as WRG was so concerned. If you recall, they were concerned about giving out all these freebies. So during COVID, we had these "We're in this together" packs that they gave out, and you get a voyage token, some crons, and then there was a turning point where they stopped that, and then they also mentioned a second time after that they needed to hold up on giving out specifically voyage tokens. And so I wonder if they are going to be usable in this event type. You know, it's one of the few things that's really difficult to get a large stockpile on, and they've actively incentivized us to spend them with these voyage exclusives and extending out the really good dilemmas at the 10 and 12 hour mark. So that's the way the wind is blowing for me, is that I haven't sent out any max voyages in quite some time. I'm just letting it roll and saving as much as I can. It's all conjecture beyond that, but we do know it will be something that's kind of related to Gauntlet.
And it'll be interesting too, because, you know, a lot of players, when Continuum Missions came out, that was born a hybrid of many things, but it was born from a lot of elderly players saying, hey, I've got some really old crappy gold cards from like 2016 that are no good, and I want to make them better. I want you to buff these cards. And they said, well, now wait a minute, I've got something for you. And then another subset of players said, I want more galaxy map missions. You haven't done one in years. It stops at episode 10. They said, well, wait a minute. And other players would say, I have all these gold immortalized crew. Shut up, Otto. And what do I want to do with them? And they said, here you go. Here's a game mode where you're going to do all these things, and you're going to make your crew even better for 7 days. And then life is going to be good. And, you know, you can get longer voyages with it. Look at Evans of Wales, the first nightmare mode enjoyer to cross 14 hours only using purples.
I was going to say, for context, nightmare mode is where you start, you play each rarity, and you don't collect or use the next rarity, or you don't use the next rarity until you finish. So you do your greys, you immortalize them, then you work on the greens. He is now on the purples and doing 14-hour voyages. No gold in sight, not a single one.
And he can do that, but think of the players who are complaining right now that they can't do continuum missions because they don't have strong and gold crew at all, or, you know, not elderly players, even though the mode's not for them. They don't like coming into an 8.5-year-old game and seeing a game mode they can't touch because it's the new shiny thing that kind of turns off engagement. So this voyage gimmick's going to come around where I'm assuming we know nothing about it, it's going to prioritize people with stronger crew that can do longer voyages or more roles or something. Once again, going to be beating up on the little guys, and even somebody like Evans of Wales can do way better than players who do utilize golds, but then someone who's a whale is just, no pun intended, is just going to come along and slap them upside the head because they can theoretically go longer, do better. I don't know.
This is the thing.
I think it'll be a problem.
The collection expansion that's happened recently has added a bunch of new stats. Now, collections is the main reason I'm still playing this game. Well, not the main reason. One of the main reasons I'm playing this game. I love going for the collections, sitting there working out what I'm going to do next. I'm going to prioritize because they've all got the skill boost, and we love the skill boost because we want to increase how our crew are, how strong our crew are for things like this. The only thing I'm thinking is, like you say, in a voyage-based event, if it is about max length of voyage, if someone's going to say, right, I've just got myself a 14-hour voyage, easy peasy. I've been playing this game for years and years and years. I've got all the collection bonuses. I've got all the equipment. Someone maybe it's been playing on a year and just going, oh, I'd love to try out this new voyage type. It's going to feel so gutted because they're going to play their heart out, get, I don't know, a load of 8 to 10 hour voyages rolled in, rolled out, and probably go not very far on the leaderboard because of all the people that have been doing this longer that can push it. And I don't know how this is going to work in terms of VP, because what you say, you get a dilemma at 2 hours, you do something, and then you get VP. Isn't everyone going to be on that staggered level at the same time? It doesn't seem like, it's not like factions where you can send a few extra shuttles or boost them or time them or return them early. Everyone seems to be on the same pace, so I still can't work out how that could work.
So a few thoughts on that, and those are great questions. So first, if we have to play a gauntlet-style match every 2 hours, that incentivizes us to send out voyage crew that have higher proficiencies. So previously, Gary Seven was a great long-haul voyager for a very long time, also extremely high proficiencies. He may actually get a little bit of the limelight for the sec voyages. And then also have a little bit of game once it comes to those pit stops that you got to do to fight. So if that's the way that the mechanic works, then we're going to see a shift in who really is a voyage viable crew for that. Another thing that has really kind of gone silent was the developers, I'll call them, have mentioned that there's going to be some new traits added to the game.
Yes.
We got the roadmap about festive, playful, compromised, and vengeful being new traits. At the time, they just mentioned it would be to support additional design. So that speaks to me that if we're talking about leveling the play field between established and new players, then certainly releasing new crew that feature those 4 new traits, and then making those traits featured not only for the Gauntlet pit stops as percentage bonuses, but also for the antimatter seats on these event voyages. Could be. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go. So I got no glasses. So, anyways, I feel like we're going to be seeing all of that kind of come together, where there's new offerings that people can buy into to get up to speed, and also a little bit of a change up. We may even need to look into a new rating on crew that are just going to be good, that split the difference between having a really high proficiency role but also good voyage ability.
So, I mean, it also ties into equipment as well, doesn't it? Because, they say they're launching new equipment as well to crew, and they've added some stuff for, like, Frank Hollander, to make him pretty beastly. And like you say, if it depends on what we're going to be doing in the middle, it's going to be something we've already seen. Like you say, they've alluded to Gauntlet. They're not going to stray too far from the tree on this occasion, are they? Because they don't have the systems in place to implement a whole new system, a whole new thing. The closest we got to anything brand new was the Celestial Market and Retrieval, essentially. Celestial Market was done by an outside company as well. So, yeah. Frank,
it's the last untapped game feature that we need to have them turn into an event type. Pack opening, right?
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. The blue game could be real.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh. I love the blue game. That was the other thing that died when they killed the Steam sales, was the blue game. We can't play the blue game anymore. That was so good. Yeah. How many? Well, here's how I'd do it. I'd say, right, you start off, like, before you open any packs, you go, right, I'm going to bet my big money on these crew, and you say, right, I'm going to see a lot of Catherine Pulaski or Hugh or any of the this is blue or any other blue crew. And if they come up as your spin, you win money or you win event points. See, that's great. I love that idea.
And then you can get the new custom avatar for opening 10,000 packs, which will be Mott the Barber.
That'll just be Frank. They won't even hide it.
I'm still curious. For back to the whining for a minute. Speaking of avatars.
Nice job.
For those unaware, there are achievements for continuum missions, if you can do them or not, and they all cap very high, but one of them, which is absolutely ridiculous, is unlock equipment slots on your crew, which goes up to 5,000, and I'm not sure if you're aware, there are currently 1,500 and some odd, I don't know, I uninstalled the game, crew, and with 4 equipment slots each, that means there's like 7,000 eligible equipment slots, so you have to unlock almost every crew equipment slot to get the final super mega reward, which is the ugliest avatar of Q you've ever seen. You think this Garrick art was bad?
On the splash
no,
screen.
no, that was
it not that
one's nice. Oh. That one's nice. Here, I'll post it in chat so you can see it.
Do it in chat.
Anyway, in the last set of, I have to take these off. I cannot see. In the last set of patch notes, they said something to the effect of we added like an effect to the continuum special avatar, which means this crappy avatar now has some sort of like something that no one will ever see, because I don't know anybody that will ever get close to unlocking all 5,000 slots.
It's okay. I've got an army of yeoman rands that I can pull out of, because I kept mortalizing them habitually just to get the achievement initially to scam some early dill. So
it is surprising that they've never, like, it's a habit of them not increasing established systems, but how they've never done anything with VIP levels more, or the crew immortalized. Like, you need more on there, and VIP especially with some of the bigger spending players in this community that we know, not naming names. But wouldn't you see some good rewards for being VIP 28? For people that do that. Talking that the gross whale that I am, but it's shocking that they haven't. And for something that would encourage spending in their free-to-play mobile game seems like the wrong way to me. But that's just me.
The problem is for everybody who's invested in the meantime while they're already maxed out at 14, are they going to be retroactively granted all these? Where's the incentive for the big spenders who've gone way above and beyond to dip back in again? So that's why I think the web store is the next logical choice, and that really, more than just giving them a little bit of more of an edge on the payment transactions, is really where they get to kind of start fresh. But again, it's been so long since they introduced it. They've already had people that have put large amounts of money through there, and what are they going to do for those people? How are they going to make it right?
Well, and that was part of my initial complaint for the and I haven't been listening, I'm sorry, but whatever we're talking about, I'm going to hijack it. Whenever they released the achievements, they were not retroactive because the game mode had been out for some time. I had already unlocked 250 equipment slots when the achievements hit, and I got no credit for that. And that immediately turned me off, because now I have to do 250 more. Screw that. No.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find
I have to go all the way back to November. I'm getting there. It takes a while.
Oh, it's my son. He's arrived. Hello, mate. My son can't get to sleep. Do we have any advice from chat on how my son can get to sleep?
We have Google Homes in each of our kids' rooms.
Oh, do you?
That we put rain sounds on, or some light piano music sounds each night. Works like a charm. They're good. They can turn it on themselves now too, which is fantastic.
Ben, the chat is saying, or the people on stream are saying, imagine listening to the sound of rain when you're lying in bed. Yeah.
Listen to the Big Book podcast.
Listen to the Big Book podcast.
That'll do it,
man. Yeah, you can get to sleep, mate. Don't worry, you can do it.
And he'll wake up knowing some new insults for his own mother too.
Yes. Turns up.
Oh, Luis is a saint. No. I sometimes have trouble falling asleep being older, and I got into this really bad habit of putting in your headphones and rolling over, going to sleep with, there's a YouTube video of 8 hours of bridge noise from the Next Generation. It's just ambient noise of the star drive going and the computer's beeping, and occasionally you hear somebody hit something and it goes to warp. and it puts me to sleep in 30 seconds.
Did you wake up sometimes? Shut off that damn noise.
I can't watch Star Trek now because if I watch Star Trek like early episodes where there's just nothing because they're through warp.
I've told you my
Lothian.
Enterprise story, haven't I? Like I had a VHS tape with like the first 6 or 7 Enterprise. You know, that was when I had insomnia, and that was the thing that put me to sleep. So yeah.
I don't know where I would have heard that story. Probably on, just some stream some other time. But
Stars is in chat. Hey, Stars.
Hey,
Stars. You playing Timelines again? Join us. Anyway,
this is Stars. This is a show. This is our first show about this game, Star Trek Timelines. I don't know. I'm glad you're here, though.
Yeah, thank you for coming. You know, here's the thing. So, gonna open the floodgates here. Realistically, if they were to design something completely new, a new event type for the game, what would it even involve?
It took me 6 years, but there you go.
What would it even involve? Like what kind of thing? Shut up, Jen Austen. We're not doing expedition events.
That's continuum missions. I mean,
that is essentially
like Dan eloquently said. I mean, if you can't develop new game modes on this game code because it's spaghetti code. The whole house will crumble. It will all go in flames. Not that it already isn't. So, I mean, you have to leverage existing things because they're not going to engage an outside firm anymore. They're not spending any more money like that. So, I mean, you need a gauntlet event. You need a voyage event. They're going to make events less grindy. Which
there's Galaxy 2.0 coming as well, isn't there? Which
allegedly.
Which makes me think that they're going to do things like, in my head, what I would do is like, we're going to change all the crafting recipes because like skirmishes, they've been using the same stuff for ages. But that's the only thing I can think would be a Galaxy 2.0, unless they're going to make the threshold rewards just batshit insane again, like they did that one Convergence saying no one could hit it because you needed like 70,000 billion points. And actually everyone looked at that and just went, no. I haven't liked.
That's one of my primary concerns when they mentioned Galaxy 2.0 and now I'm so proud of my very well crafted inventory of items that
thank you, Dan. Shout out
everything
your
is. Yeah. Okay. So Chronometrics is a cab tool that is currently in a perpetual state of beta, but still works very well. And for anybody who's doing crunchy crons or a little pre-farming during skirmish or what have you, Chronometrics is going to let you proportionally get a good level of items in your inventory to help you do galaxies, level up your crew. I find it useful. It interacts with some of the other popular web resources. You can use Datacore, and I'll shout out Till Lanthor's Steve tool. If nobody has ever seen that, I can drop a note about that in chat here.
I will pop. There's the link to the sheet. Use Chronometrics.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you. Hey, appreciate that. But anyways, so if they're going to mix up the recipe as well, okay, maybe they can give me a little advance notice and I can update that. But yeah, the bigger impact is going to be the tens and maybe even at this point over 100,000 crons that I've spent just pre-farming and getting a good inventory level for this. So I'm hoping they go a different direction to make this 2.0 a little more strategic and interesting without really messing up the status quo too much on what we've really grown to know over eight years of doing these. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow if we have to redo our strategy after that time.
I think that can also be a good thing as well, but it's good to have a refresh of the community to sort of like jolt everyone to life. Go, oh, it's Galaxy, and then you sort of like you stick the telly on, and you're just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. It tap 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 tap. You essentially just.
That's what we like. That's what keeps us coming back is the familiarity. And if you rock the boat too much, you're going to risk losing some real long-term users. I think the better bet would be to take and riff on existing mechanics. So one of the big assets we have that's really untapped is fleet boss battles and something. So for anybody who's taken advantage of the Dilithium offers and done Raid Shadow Legends, they have a very similar mechanic where you see everything from easy to normal all the way up to Ultra Nightmare mode, where you can do these big raids where you attack a huge monster, and it's very similar to fleet boss battles. There's not the trait matching aspect of it, but there is a community aspect where we all contribute damage. And there is a different version of that as well, where you can also compete against a different boss, which takes different skills and different types of power in order to be able to attack effectively. So I think that's a huge potential for evolving the game and giving us all something to cooperate together on. while still keeping all the core mechanics of the game at play. For the first boss, for the carrot, the purple carrot, we've been able to ignore evasion and accuracy completely because it's all raw damage all the time. Maybe bring those back in, incorporate something where you have to. I don't know. I don't know how they could do it, but it's there. It's there, and it's already in the game. So let's advance that a bit.
That was the plan. We spoke to them directly on a Q&A and say, like, when's the next fleet? What happened to fleet boss battles? And they're saying it's not in development, which says to me, like, oh, it didn't make us any money, so we're going to go on to doing something else. Where my philosophy has always been, and I said this when I posted on the forums, to say we need a Q&A. We need a quality of life QL update. Like, spend some time with the things you already have. Make that better for everyone, and people will stay, or people will come back for it. If you say to someone, a lot of people, if you say to them, we've got a new boss battle in, we've now got the crystalline entity, and you can build a TNG bridge and get all these bonuses. A lot of people say, hell yeah, we want that, because we enjoyed that, rather than developing new things like the continuum missions, which a lot of players are up and down on, and things like that. They had these plans. They said, oh yeah, we're going to do add-ons for fleet boss battles as well. It is such a shame that they are not developing that further, and just sort of kind of gone like, nah, we introduce a whole new currency, a whole new system, and
it's a little short-sighted. It's a little short-sighted to say that you can't make money on something that you've invested so much on, and in its current form, it may not be making money. That may be a true statement, but you can spend a little bit of development time and find a way to incorporate new crew that come with, a bit of an enhanced ship ability that's not going to mess up with arena and skirmish too much, but it'll still, let the fleet boss battles really shine. I think that potential is out there, and they can sell it to us and give us one for free, like they did with Demo Man Scotty, and then let us achieve, something a little bit of a dangling purple carrot that we can, reach out and get. But yeah, I think it's lazy, and I think maybe it speaks to this change in hands of the developers, where maybe this is, we've seen it before with the direction of Disney and other large companies. Maybe this is the old guys' ideas. We don't want to riff on that. We'd rather do our new happy stuff, and
On light news, congratulations, Marco Baker. You've got a Voyage exclusive and 2 Gauntlet crew in the same week. Well done. I'm also going to shout out Siete's alt account, who got 2 Voyage exclusives back to back. Frank, I should have said close your ears, because I believe they got.
I understand RNG, and I understand things are fickle. I don't bemoan anyone, Marco. I think it is phenomenal that you have gotten luck, because when people have happy stories like that, it's the old net promoter thing. They go tell a million people, hey, look what I got. And people go either, oh my God, maybe I could do this too. Maybe there's hope for me. Or people, not saying any names, go, well, when's going to be my time, Lord? And
please,
again, I'm
very more.
Please. and again, I'm very happy for the people that get them, because at this point, it's like, Chakotay's been in the game since well over a year. He's like a year and 4 months at this point. And I've just like accepted the fact that I'm not gonna get him. With Frank 2 has never seen a gold behold and a void. It is 0 Voyage exclusive crew, and that those 2 ran voyages all day, every day, back to back. There's little things that can be tweaked, or like we've said a million times, maybe an alternative way to get the crew for people who are willing to pay for them instead of over time earn them. It's the same thing as grinding for an event crew versus the lazy people who just show up one day a week and buy them and then log off. Something like that could be there, but there's just so much short-sightedness, and you're right. Just a little bit of QOL, just a little bit of stuff. They've been very afraid, and they said pretty quickly with fleet boss battles that they were afraid to expand to a different boss, because the problem will always be those left behind. New players that come in, now they have 30 bridge levels on the Doomsday machine to catch up on, and this new thing, they'll never catch up. They'll always be perpetually behind. Well, yeah, that's kind of the point of it, but do you want to worry about those people who show up to an 8.5-year-old game and go, yeah, but this new game mode you just added on to I can't excel in, like continuum missions, So for that reason, I'm out. Or do you want to worry about the other stack of players that have been around since the beginning, who are your big spenders, who say, hey, why don't you expand on this thing that you've already got? I really want to play it, because until you do, I'm going to farm the crap out of it in a way you didn't intend and absolutely break your honor system, which is what has happened.
Yeah, Overtime says year 9 is when mobile games gain most of their players. Yeah, okay. I think there's a lot of, like you say earlier, you know, your community is your best asset for doing hype. Like we said about the pack pulling, and you know, you say about, oh, I got this crew, and you're going to go and tell everyone. That's something they really should be nurturing. Like, and that's, you know, we started the 12-hour voyage project, which was then taken over by Agent Graham, who's now running it excellently. You can still see that on our Discord and submit if you've got 12 hours or more, 14-hour voyage. Go and submit your time, see where you rank on a leaderboard. And fleet leaderboards as well, things that the community can look at and go, hey, I want to compete. Like BigBook.app has got a fleet leaderboard. It's got a captain's leaderboard. You can earn stripes and ribbons for getting in the top 3.
You get stripes.
And that's something that people like. They don't want to hit number 1 and get the crew. They want to get the accolades and see where they scored this week or what the averages have been over time. Like, believe it or not, a lot of Star Trek fans are also stats nerds. And considering your game has crew with statistics in it, like, it makes sense to build a leaderboard. And if Namer can do it in an afternoon and you, a multi-million-dollar company, can't do it at all, something's wrong there. But I'd like to tell you, guys, I just got reminded of this. If you want to know about really bizarre crossovers, okay, name me a game. If you've heard the announcement, stay quiet. But name me a game you would not expect there to be a Star Trek crossover with. See if you can guess it. If you don't know already, if you do know, okay.
Chutes and Ladders.
No.
I will say, given how Star Trek will sometimes give its license to anybody, but sometimes not, I don't want to go with the obvious Fortnite, because that does everybody and everything under the sun. I will say Minecraft.
It is not Minecraft, although that would be quite cool. I wouldn't mind that in Minecraft, because then I'd have something to relate to with my children. No, Stars has hit it. World of Tanks, the free-to-play tank game, now has a Star Trek crossover for some reason. I don't know why. It's in the Kelvinverse. You can get a Federation tank, and it's not the Argo. The biggest crime is that it's not the Argo. But this is the kind of thing I mean. Like, there is a wealth of Star Trek as a license crossing over everywhere, and I think WRG aren't taking advantage of theme. But WRG, who am I talking about? Who is that company? No one knows about them. It's HG Games, and it always has been. We've always been at war with Eurasia. I suppose we better talk about some crew, really, should we? Maybe. Let me know if we're going to repeat things from the Big Book podcast as well. Let me.
No,
head
it's
down.
all good. Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't want to.
I had a question though. I did watch the I watched the trailer for the World of Tanks Star Trek, and you know it looked like a lot of fun. I'll say. It
didn't look too bad.
Was that the real voices? Like,
no,
it didn't seem like they were. Man, it was pretty close. Whoever they got to do it, or whether it was AI, was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you know, for my time and my hard-earned money, tanks but no tanks.
Well done. Can you imagine those, like, phoning up, hey Zoe Saldana, hi Zoe, you know, got this really hot opportunity. You know, you love Star Trek 4, yeah? We're gonna really good promise we're gonna make that. But before we do you think you could just lend just your voice for this tank game, this free-to-play tank game that probably does earn more money than any of us will ever do in our lives?
Oh, yeah.
So that is, people love tanks. I don't see it myself, but hey, well. Right, so
let's talk about crew.
Let's talk about some crew. A smattering of selections. If you want the in-depth guide, go and listen to the Big Book podcast. I'm sure you'll go down to the nitty-gritty and really not make jokes about them at all. I'm sure. Let me bring up ding ding ding. Yes, we're actually going to use the Big Book podcast now because. Hey, look what we've got. Vineyard Boimler. And as to quote Genos Edanian on the 30th of April, to use an agriculture analogy among the legendary crew available from the animated mega event, this Boimler is all chaff, no wheat. Sure, he has a plus skill set headlined by an engineering primary, and sure, he has 3 collections, with a long shot chance for a 4th, but his voyage power is on the weak side, and without any ancillary benefits like gauntlet or ship battle utility, you might want to fail to water this one. Genesis or whatever. Great wordplay, great wordplay. Your mastery of ChatGPT knows no bounds. I joke.
There was
can
a time
someone...
when I played this game and I wrote notes. That is, of all the notes, that is certainly one.
That is definitely a entry into.
And of all the crew of this mega, this is also one.
They say that brevity is the soul of wit, especially so when the crew is shit.
Look at you, and this
Wow.
is why he's the host of the Big Book podcast.
Someone giving me the auto-sponsored flavor text, please, if you have it available. Frank, you may have to reinstall the game again.
Oh God, again! Hold on. Gave you the Q avatar. What more do you want from me?
Did you? Oh yeah, I should put that on screen. Never mind.
It's so bad he'll drive away the viewers. People will turn off the show immediately.
If they haven't already, they're here for life. Hang on, I'm just gonna make Dan bigger. There we go. While you're doing that, rearrange the screen. Looking at our gorgeous
Here,
faces.
I'll do the manual zoom for you here. There we go.
Ooh!
Wow.
Oh, fancy that.
What lens have you got on there?
My old IT job, that was one of my favorite tricks. When somebody complained that the text was too small on the screen, just grab the monitor, just pull it a couple of inches up.
While on temporary leave, Boimler went to his family's vineyard, where Mariner finds him to propose marriage. I mean, another adventure.
I tell you what my favorite thing about this scene is. It's, you know, because obviously it's a parody of the Picards working on the vineyard, but obviously Mariner's family grow raisins or grow grapes from raisins. But he's got, every time he's like sitting there and he's, you know, you imagine the awkward young ensigns out there and he's just like, you know, I just really want a girlfriend. Like, meanwhile, back at his family home, he's got all these women just like, I need some time in the watering shed. Can you help me? And it's like, he's just like, no, go away. I'm busy. My favorite thing.
Duty first. As a good ensign.
He's a good ensign. Tier 6 though. Not much for anything here. Although I suppose if you're boosted, we're nearing 2k on Eng. Boimler. Do we get many Boimler events? Do Boimler events happen? Apart from in this animated mega?
Apparently not, because yeah, I think the event rating there encompasses lower decks and animated, so I think it's getting a little boost, but nothing. Yeah. I think not more than 1 or 2 that have specifically named him so far.
Nifty says vineyard or vineyard. I say vineyard. What do you say? I believe you've had this conversation, but I'm here now, so have it again. I say vineyard. Is it vineyard? Is that an Americanism?
Grape farm.
Grape farm. I'm going down to grape farm.
I've always said vineyard, but
we know the player's choice TM will have.
Is that the choice where they give us every option?
Yes, and then you get it regardless of what you vote for. You will get the Strange New Worlds Lower Decks crossover version of real life Boimler, Jack Quaid. We've already got the Mariner version of that card, so we will get Boimler during that mega. I don't know if he's the mega recurring or he's just like the giveaway, but he is one of them. It would be very much them to put him in a Tuesday pack as a purple, but who knows? Yeah. So if he's an event, that would be his event, and where you'd find use if there was an engineering shuttle during a faction event. But I mean, he doesn't get special equipment. I mean, he's just, yeah, he's there. He's command dip something.
Okay. So do we? Oh, this is a new thing. Do we approve or do we reject this card, Frank? Approve or reject?
Versus what they've been giving out, I mean, I have to approve.
Do we approve? Dan, approve or reject?
Easy reject.
Easy
reject. No use for this card.
Chat reject. This is sounding like a lot of reject, in which case that is...
He's dead, Jim.
We reject this card. Do not get it. Do not do it. We do have an approve. Why have we never done this before? Why have we never done the bash? Rejected. I need to get some more animations and stuff.
Here but worthless gold.
Thank you, Genos, for the worthless gold. Let's go on to Orion Hurricane Uhura. This was, I believe, in a Tuesday pack last week.
That's right. You got it.
Tier 2. Over 2k in that dip base. It's obviously animated Celia Rose Gooding here. I shall read the big book entry. Let's see how long is this? Oh, it's not too bad. Genos, you're favoriting me this time. An animated version of Celia Rose Gooding's portrayal of Uhura, this Orion Hurricane variant, is, as it stands, far and away the best crew released from this scene. Appropriately, she comes gated by dilithium in a Tuesday time portal pack. Don't pull six-packs, kids. A top-flight crew for your voyages, while unfortunately shacked by her tired dip side command. Uhura has many positive attributes to pick from if you are wont to splash around in the whale pool. A quintet of collections on debut makes her a very attractive in that area, given the recent massive collection expansion, and Uhura is bankable event name, even though in recent years she has gotten more love from her traits than her character variants. Only single variant event since 2022. A charge-based ship ability is an oddity, but even if you just let auto-fly your ships, you'll get 15,000 crit bonus at 8 seconds with a sizable accuracy boost if that's in your bag. In the long run, she'll be a solid event collection crew piece. With that skill set, she'll age quickly on your voyages. I don't know why I switched voices there, but hey-ho. It's supposed to be shackled, not shacked. Yeah, you need an editor. Who dove for the crew? Who dove? Who went? Oh, a poll. Who started a poll?
That's a good idea. Yeah, not I. Yeah, so a couple of noteworthy things. So with the last crew, we got a lesser engineering primary crew after getting 2 fantastic free 4-star out of 5 gold engineering crew with Concerned Janeway and Sydney LaForge. And now we have a crew that is strictly outperformed on 2 of her antimatter seats in Orion Hurricane Uhura by a free card, Fascination Loaxana Troy. So, for as good as this card is, and I don't want to sell this card short, look at the stats here. I mean, it's in the top 100 of 5 of the different big book stats that we're looking at here. So really a jack of all trades. But I don't advocate, I never do go in for Tuesday packs in any circumstance. I haven't bought a single mixed beholder 6-pack while I've been playing the game. I can't say it's taking a colossal amount of restraint to hold off on that either. It's just I don't like the odds. If I want to buy a crew, I want to buy a crew. So I don't like the random chance, especially after seeing some of the esteemed, perhaps former streamers of the timelines, flubbing seriously on trying to get their favorite card.
I mean, people have done this before. That's crazy.
Nah.
No, surely not.
I don't see a market for it.
No.
Also, I mean, the skill set's tired. So in the same triplet, we've got in the portal, we can retrieve Inspiring Captain Burnham, and maybe not the exact order, but I mean, man, she represents and still as powerful as ever. A great amount of collections. Like, I mean, this is out there. This card exists, and spending cash for it, I don't think is necessary.
Only if you wanted to make a vanity bridge of all the Orion Hurricane crew that mostly we will be earning during this mega, and then the Spock will be coming sooner than later, probably Tuesday pack.
Wobbly arm Spock.
Yes. So you'll get most of the Orion Hurricane crew from that last second scene of the aforementioned Lower Decks Strange New Worlds crossover episode, which is just the best 42 minutes of Star Trek that you can see in modern worlds. And if anybody within the reach of my voice has not seen it, you need to immediately stop what you're doing, including being on this show, and go watch it.
Okay. See you later.
I mean, yeah, she's got great stats. She's great power. She'll be usable by anybody, extreme whale to brand new player. But, call me in 6 months or a year, because then she's going to be stuck behind a mountain of every crew that they've released that comes in that same top 75 Voyager class, every crew they print pretty much. And
power creep. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we approving or rejecting this card? Dan, approve or reject?
For anybody watching this 6 to 12 months from now when she hits the portal, it'll be a definite approve. But today it's a reject.
It's a reject, okay. Frank, approve or reject?
I'm gonna say approve, just because it's probably arguably the best Uhura card outside of Astronaut Uhura. Who's that behind the astronaut mask? Oh my God, it's Gowron. But
doing by the way.
it would feel a lot better if she were in the portal right now for retrieval. I will agree to that. That would help me really feel good about saying approve.
Should be really good. It's looking like a lot of approves from the chat as well. So I think we're gonna go ahead and say verified. This crew is approved. And Siete, you may recognize that logo there. I finally found a use for it, which your wonderful daughter Kelly made for us about 4 years ago. So I finally found a use for it. Okay.
4 years. What? This show just started. What?
What? Hey, ooh, hey, hi. Let's go. Ooh, let's load some more. We can load more crew. How about another Orion Hurricane? Ortegas, Melissa Navia in the animated flesh. It's always nice to see a new crew released with an eclectic trait like bartender, and that may be about where the interesting aspects of Orion Hurricane Ortegas end. Seemingly all the Ortegas variants have been released at aggressively average power levels or worse and sink fast. And this crew is not a departure from this. Serviceable power on voyages is helped along by a skill set that thankfully is not a permutation of Command Dip Psi. Ortegas gets Sec instead, below average for event chances and about average for collection inclusions. Erica also gets an unusual position trigger locked accuracy boost to an unnecessary +15, so she flies the ship.
Yeah, this is like I was saying before, if they ever change up the fleet boss battles so we need a whole lot of accuracy for some reason, she's going to be your crew for that. But for now, let's look at what she excels in. So yeah, that ship battle ability looks great, but it just doesn't really get you what a whole lot of advantage in one of the most important farming opportunities in the game, which is fleet boss battles. And let's take a look at her actual high ranking metrics here on the big book. We've got well, her voyage number is, of course, number 69 currently.
Nice.
But also we have her at a number 59 in shuttle strength. But looking at her primary as a dip, she's just one of like 24 really great high dip shuttlers that I have. So is she going to make seats? Not unless she's named in an event. So that brings us to her event showing. Not as high as it could be. Ortegas just hasn't been featured that much. I think she just falls short in a lot of metrics. But that said, so again, context is everything. And for those of us who are skirmish aficionados, we were able to earn, a good number of copies on her and get a good head start on potentially a pretty playable crew. Tier 4 is certainly in the playable category. She will get voyage seats. In fact, I don't think she has any outperformers at all in any of her seats. So for her exact skill order, she's going to be showing up for you if you've gotten her maxed.
She will.
She's only bested, not in the exact triplet, but just in the 3 skills by Mirror Tuvok, who you have to go part ways with 5,000 dilithium at the right time in the right faction shop, or Cisco the Emissary, who I really strongly advise people who don't have him to go retrieve next, because he's really good. When she hits the portal in a year, assuming, God willing, the game's still around, I think she should probably be on some people's rosters, because eventually they're going to expand the animated collection. So you're going to have to get her. And if you got to have somebody, she's pretty good.
Better have Ortegas than no Tegas, one might say.
And arguably, ostensibly, thank you, Jenna Sedenian, the best Ortegas in the game. That wasn't a hard battle.
That's crazy, really?
Oh, yeah, all the Ortegas variants suck.
Oh, dear. That's terrible. You know what I think she needs? Instead of an Orion Hurricane, she needs a cold glass of... In which case, that brings me around to say, do we approve or reject this card?
I'm approving. I can't. I've already got her fully fused, and I can't wait for her to get her seat.
Frank, approve or reject? Chat, approve or reject?
Pretty easy approval.
Wow, that's interesting, and it looks like that's probably good. Chat. We got a new poll, which is also forgot there's a stream, which everyone is saying get in here. But we're saying approve, reject from the chat. I'll go with You know what? You've swayed me. I was going to say this was probably going to be a reject, but you swayed me. I think this is going to be verified. Verified. This isn't approve. We approve this. This is the Timeline Talk certified card. You should go out and get this card right. Well, no, you can't because wait, can you get this card yet? Has it been the event? I have no. I don't pay attention to events that much.
Recap packs. If you want to go fishing in recap packs for it, should be a fine acquisition. But
Okay, how about hey there, fellas? How about a bit of Guji, our favorite good-centered badgie variant. I don't know. No, is Guji his own variant, or is he a badgie variant?
It's a badgie.
It's a badgie. Okay. Released in the Uber campaign, Guji may be considered among the best to be introduced via this release mechanism. A solid Eng-led skill set with the Voyage power to boot may draw the eye initially, but you might slide over to a set of 4 collections and a trait list with just a little juice left for the future. But the main attraction might be in his ship ability, wherein TPG, HG, WRG, whatever, has finally broken the mold and released a 25% hull repair crew with a less than 20-second cycle time, with Guji coming in at 18 seconds. A best-in-class attack boost for a hull repair crew lets you easily slot him into your fleet boss battles quartet and will make it easier and easier to time out the Doomsday Machine if you're apt to spend on the game, but only sometimes. You might consider this Uber campaign a good G value. Frank disagrees.
These puns today. No, this is a good crew. Just these puns are giving me indigestion. I agree with the esteemed writing of who wrote this.
Nifty.
Genos. Never mind. Can't say anything nice about him. Arguably the best crew in some time to hit premium campaign, even if you don't purchase $25 worth of stuff. Go do the offer wall, get yourself 6,500 dilithium, and buy a copy. Because it's going to be a while. Of all the crew we're covering today, I would arguably say this is the best. For that ship ability, if it comes to help you or not. But a really good Voyager, and stop me, I know you heard this 2 crew ago, Eng primary, but Eng dip psi, strong Voyager, strong totals, doesn't really get better with continuum missions, no special equipment or anything. But good collections. He'll have use.
This is a crew that's gonna hold its value for a very long time. It's just at that sweet spot in the power curve where, and especially because we're not really we're not getting a lot of Eng primary crew on the whole. I think recently there's been a little bit of a glut of them, but you got to get them while you can, because they're going to fill random antimatter seats for you eventually. And also, get them through your continuum missions, even with the generic equipment. So, it's certainly an option there to build out not only a very strong Voyager, but somebody that can satisfy your continuum nodes. I like this crew for established players and for new players. It's a great opportunity for somebody that's still leveling up their Fleet Boss Battle Bridge. And that's trying to break into just getting down to their only 2 healer loadout for Fleet Boss battles. If they are currently running just 1 attack booster like Demo Man Scotty, and then they have to stuff in 3 healers just to be able to survive the whole battle, this crew at its 18-second healing cycle may just get them over the hump and be able to get them to a real huge level up and being able to do so much more damage, because they'll be able to get Demo Man and then maybe tactical Mako Mayweather or somebody in there. Here's the man.
Here he is, the man that really puts the good in Guji, or the bad in Badgie. Oh, let me adjust the stream to fit in his fantastic portfolio. It is the original Big Book himself, the one and only Automaton 2000.
Welcome, sir, to the first episode.
Yes, welcome to this first episode.
As penance, I'll be drinking a Cerveza Crystal.
Sorry,
Shut up,
All right, what'd I miss?
This is a brand new podcast. No one's ever done this before. We are doing, something we felt in the 8 years this game is about, that no one's ever serviced the community for people who like to watch people talk about Star Trek Timeline. So that's what we're doing. We're talking about some crew. And
I tuned in and you guys are just reading Big Book notes. I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't know. That's the problem. But we are deciding now whether we approve or reject this card. Do we approve or reject?
What are we on?
This is Guji.
We're talking about Guji, yep. And so the other thing that we mentioned on the Big Book podcast was that you don't, when you're buying Guji, when you're buying into the ultra super premium mega super duper campaign, you're also getting an excellent non-portal crew in Colonel Kira DeVries. You can follow our notes there, but she represents Command DipSec, which is actually an underserved skill triplet lately. So just fantastic too for your money.
What? Command, dip, sec.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's skill
believe it.
orders. Yeah.
Believe it. I think we've had like 3 playable ones in the past year. So
That really is 2024.
Anyways.
Holy shit.
Uber campaign, Nifty says.
This is
yes,
definitely
agreed.
looking like it is. Oh, well, gentlemen, approve or reject? Do we like this card?
Yeah, I'm buying it and I approve.
I guess approve.
Also, do you approve or reject?
I got to look up the list here.
Okay.
You have Gothoral Laban right there, same skill order. What do you need Colonel Kieran Arias for?
Thor Laban.
This card is not at all pleasurable.
He's Laban it. All right, this sounds like a unanimous approve. Verified. This card is verified. We like it. This is the new thing. This is a new thing we're doing. We're approving or rejecting, and then that's it. Two. It's no tears.
And I've got to say, December 2021, Lieutenant Sahil is still top 100 Voyager. That's actually pretty impressive.
Didn't he debut at number 1 or 2?
He did.
2,
He did.
yeah, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, he
3,
was my
was it?
first. He was the first crew that I ever duped, just because I pulled heavy on mega recaps from my offer wall dilithium at the time, and he no longer sees any voyages, so both of them are frozen right now. Unfortunately, that's just how quickly these command dipsec voyages drop due to power creep, folks. So don't do cards.
I remember complaining because all he does in that scene is walk down the hallway, and they're like, "Let's make him a great Voyager." I'm like, "What? Out of all the things you could have done with that card."
And give him 2 cards. Yeah.
He got 2 cards in quite quick succession as well. But yeah, they made him like the number 2 Voyager, and everyone was like, "What? Why?" But this game and making random crew good Voyagers, who knows? How about last card we'll talk about for today before we move on to our the fun bits, you know? This one has a song. I'm not going to read it up, but Renegade Locarno. Who wrote this one? Who wrote this one? This was a Nifty Mittens. Okay, that's too long for me to read. Too lazy, didn't read. But Renegade Locarno. Also, since you're here, do you want to read out a wonderful bit of let me reload this. A wonderful bit of flavor text. Do you actually?
Locarno's resentment for Starfleet grew so intense that he decided to organize his own rebel fleet.
There you go.
By the way, did you play my video?
I did play your video.
You did, yeah.
It's very
And
good.
I laughed.
You're in spirit.
I laughed.
Anybody who
Frank, you
joined the
have more
stream
hair
late-
than all of us combined.
I do. I'm trying to be the anchor here.
Do you know, I was
This
reading
is
today.
like playing a real life game of Connect 4. Does your character have hair? No.
Hey, you ever play that game with the little magnet with the iron shavings where you can move the hair around
yes.
top and bottom? That's what I feel like. Anyways, I'm sorry. We're talking about the game.
I forget what I was going to say. No. I read today you can get a beard transplant. You know, people go away, they go abroad, and they get hair transplants. Apparently, beard transplants a thing. I was like, why?
I thought you said beer, like drinking.
No, I do
beer.
that
I'm
every
like,
day.
How does it even work?
That's my daily beard.
yeah.
I have a beard transplant. I'm turning it into water as we speak. But no, a beard transplant.
I think they take that hair from certain areas of your body that you may not want attached to your face. So I don't know how beard transplant would work.
Nifty says, "Read my song, damn it." No, I will say this. I was about to read it literally.
God, I'd love a pepperoni pizza with Bavarian olives right now.
I'm starving.
No lie, Nifty. I was going to read it, and as we were sitting here, the doorbell rang downstairs. My phone gave me an alert, and I looked at the camera. It is Tommy Shaw of the band Styx, singer of the song Renegade, who is standing there with a cease and desist letter ready for me to start saying this in something. So I can't legally. I'm sorry. Tommy Shaw will come up and with his glowing blonde locks and do untold things to me. So
Untold blonde locks. The fact we've spoken this and not about the crew indicates that he's probably shocking.
So how do you like the art? Because some people don't like the straight looking on pose. I feel like this is a good variation on it.
I mean, if I had $1 for every likeness of Harold Duncan McNeil seated and facing forward that was released in the game in the past 6 months, I'd have $2, which
God,
is
it
just strange.
Machine Man
that this
Paris,
happened
isn't
twice.
it?
That's just enough to buy a.
Oh, hey. Oh, they'll never get old, surely.
I think it started old.
Do you remember that Birth of Federation stream we did that just went insane? No, I think with animated ones, I don't mind them looking at the camera. I think with real people, when they're looking at you, staring into your soul, you're just like, they're saying, buy me now. You're like, it's just creepy.
He's tier 1 for the art.
Is he?
Everything else,
He's no Dila.
No one is.
Who's Dila? Hold on. I have to reinstall the game so I can look.
All right, someone needs
Hold
to
on.
boot Frank from the call. He's got engineering at least. Jeez.
2,000 of it.
commanded suck.
Lots of engineering. More engineering than you need.
No, 2,000 command.
That's
I don't
command. Yes,
remember
that's right.
Dila.
That's what I meant. I see you played
How many
Command the
drinks have
Engineering
you had,
before.
Idol?
Not enough.
I don't pay attention to this game. What are you talking about? Okay, so
ironic that you bring up Dila. Dila, first to
no
max by Gleese.
Oh.
Lorcano, first to max Gleese. Look at that.
No, let's just
It's
segue.
the Illuminati.
Is she tuning in?
Probably not.
Probably not. She has a child's pickup line to be in, or a TPG server to moderate. I'm not sure.
TPG? HG? TPG.
WKRP.
Milwaukee.
99 to 3 a.m.
Yeah, so this group.
Approve or reject?
He's got equipment. He's got evasion on his ship, 250 passive evasion. He's got a quote for his arena. He's in the animated collection.
Mm.
All good things.
That's an approve from you. Frank, all done?
It just, yeah. He doesn't turn me. I'm looking more for collection value here. I mean, if I'm going to get a gold, I'm going to max it. And he just does not bring it. Only Healthy Discourse and Animated, which only has one threshold that gives you any stats.
Yeah.
That's a tough sell for me. I'd probably reject this guy.
Are you cold, Dan?
We're all wearing robes
Yeah, we did
today.
robes.
Yeah, so it was a whole thing.
I didn't get the memo.
I'm miserable right now. I am dying.
It's like 90 degrees here.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. Committed to the bit.
I'm actually gonna see like eject. I mean, I love his art, but I mean,
So interestingly, chat went full approve on this one, but I feel like we've got the strength and the reject, so let's go for...
He's dead, Jim.
We reject him. He is gone. Do not get this crew. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 quatloos. Okay. How about, let me check my notes. How about we do something a bit more fun than just repeat what has been said on the Big Book podcast? How about...
This Wednesday on UPN, an all-out war. Competitors from all over the cosmos go head-to-head in a battle for supremacy. Captain Kirk versus Captain Kirk. I mean Spock versus the Captain Kirk versus the Gorn. Captain Kirk versus basic human decency. Find out who will fall and who will be victorious on Timeline Showdown.
Oh my!
I hope you didn't cut the audio for that.
Oh gosh, I've got the wrong thing. Hang on, I got the wrong. No, there it is. Right.
So today on our rewatch of Star Trek Voyager Ex Post Facto.
Oh, that was fun. Okay, so since we have a selection of you, and we have the Orion Hurricane crew in the game, I thought it'd be quite good, and I have set up what is known in the community as a challenge. I thought we'd do a showdown between of the Strange New World crew.
Timeline Showdown.
Who would drink the other under the table? And let me set this up a second. So we have. Oh, hang on, that's not the right one.
What are we drinking?
What are we drinking?
Glock, gin, whiskey, beer.
I'm gonna say
or other.
I'd say other. I think it will be. I think it will be the. I think it'll be up to the choice of the user here. But I'm gonna split us into teams here, and I think this is only fair. So since I'm gonna go, let's do since lay it on screen, me and Otto versus Frank and Dan. Okay. So Pike versus Uhura. I will say who will drink who under the table. We'll represent Uhura. You guys represent Pike. We're gonna have a miniature pros and cons here. First bracket: Pike and Uhura. Who's drinking who?
Dan,
under the
you
table?
got the wrong teammate for this.
I think you're mixing the streams, Idle.
I'm mixing everything. It's the first one. It's the first episode. We're throwing stuff against the wall and we're seeing what sticks.
We're going to be blended, all right.
So please advocate your case for Pike.
No, please, ladies first. Explain to me how a 22-year-old ensign can drink an alcoholic, depressed captain under the table, please.
Wait, hold
Enlighten
on.
me.
Who's defending who here?
I think
who's
we're doing
arguing for
Uhura. I'm not sure.
Oh, damn. Oh, we're fucked, dude. It's obviously Pike. He's got like triple her body mass.
I didn't think this through.
He has to face the end of his life, like imminently. So come on, it's obviously Pike. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say he also has more cards with him actively drinking on them than Uhura does with
Uhura and
with
Vision,
Chef
although
Pike
she's
with a
not-
glass of wine.
I think that isn't Vision's the name of the bar, or was that just she's in a Vision? I always get that one confused. Anyone else just
Yeah,
go in the
you're
conversation, or it's
you're
just
making-
me? Okay, it's just me.
You're
Anyway,
making crap up.
I used to own a gentleman's club named Visions. What?
What?
Everybody walked out of there cross-eyed.
It turns out it was an eye doctor. I mean, you know, he has to drink to get out of bed every day, and pretty soon he's going to drink to go beep beep.
who wants a warm martini? Okay, that sounds like this is resounding Pike. Pike wins.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on. David Warner played
Now, 35 years in the future, it's Uhura.
Nimbus 3. Okay, Nimbus 3.
Pike is dead, but
So
she's
during
with
one
Scotty.
of Pike's flash forwards, he found out that Uhura has to dance on Nimbus 3 to distract the guards in order to infiltrate. And he told her that, and she's so stressed in preparation for this naked fan dance that she's got to drink hard to forget what hasn't even happened already. That's why she can put away more than Pike. And you're not going to get a better argument out of anyone, so...
Okay, that sounds like Spike. Okay, let's go with that.
You're not even going to poll chat? Come on.
And Stars is on the polls. He's been doing polls from chat. Wake up, Stars. Okay. Team 1, me and Otto, will play Dr. Mbenga.
Of course.
Of course.
He's a
And
shock.
Team 2 will be playing La'an, who could drink under the table.
So in under the Cloak of War, when he slowly presses the clear cash button, that's the way he puts away the drinks. He doesn't even enjoy it. He drinks to forget. He just slowly, just can after can, bottle after bottle. The man is an absolute machine.
Don't pull Chad into this. Sit in your mess.
In terms of productions that I have made up literally 5 minutes before we went live, this is certainly one of them.
In my head, I think La'an has learned to drink in much the same way that Pike has, to forget her troubles of her childhood, but also to calm her trigger finger. So that's my headcanon.
I have just 2 words that will solidify our case, and then, you know, we win again. Noonien freaking Singh.
She's got the augments ability.
Yeah, okay. Maybe if she had shot the child during tomorrow, but she gives up the gun and walks away. She's obviously not that traumatized by the whole experience.
Oh, no, I don't mean traumatized. I mean, she's engineered, so she can genetically take in more alcohol than a normal person.
Yeah, but have you seen Mbenga? He's a genetically engineered killing machine. So obviously he can put away at least that much.
Only when he takes performance-enhancing drugs. She does not need performance-enhancing drugs. She was born with it.
Maybe it's
What is that
Noonien
stuff
saying
called? What is that killing drink that he and Chapel drink? Protocol 12 or whatever. He literally invented a drug to make him completely ignore all deleterious effects from combat
Pull
fatigue.
up
So
and chat.
that works on alcohol too.
Yeah, I think Mbenga's got the experience, he's got the time, he's got the history, he's seen some shit. Like same way Pike has, you know, he's got the stamina to keep up with an Augment. You've seen him fight? He wrecks Klingons for fun. Like he didn't want to go after what was his name? Lark Mole or whatever what was his called? Under the Cloak of War?
Dakra.
Dakra, that's the one.
A great scientist. according to Star Trek timelines.
Yes, one of the greats. Okay, chat is safely saying this one goes to Mbenga.
So there's a website called BauerCount.com where they count all the kills of Jack Bauer. And they were going to start a website for Mbenga's kill count, but there's not enough space in the entire internet to keep track of that count. So
they'd have to do double integers, yes.
That's right.
I think as well, like, because he's a doctor. Because he's a doctor, he has that medical supply on hand. And you know what you have to do with every supply you have on hand? You have to test it regularly. You do. You have to test that extensively. Shai says, in a musical, a character sings when they can't express the emotion in words. It's La'an. She has a solo over her lost love. That's a drinking song. I don't think I'd call that a drinking song.
Not a drinking song.
Drinking songs are jolly.
That's a drinking song.
Okay,
I can see defeat here.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see the point.
Well, can Mbenga put in a requisition for medicinal alcohol?
I think
he kept his kid in a transporter buffer for years and didn't tell anybody. He could probably do what he wants.
He's got a secret stash in the buffer now that she's.
He's just got kegs of blood wine in the transporter buffer.
Can you imagine? Right.
Nobody from upper management pays a shit of a detail to what he's doing down in sick bay. They're just like, yeah, he's a doctor, I guess, sure. One day Bones is there. They're
they
like,
march
hey,
into
where's
sick bay.
Mbenga?
They're like, we're gonna take your alcohol. He's like, Una's engineered. Go take care.
No. It's the scene from Under the Cloak of the War when he's got the transporter buffer and he says, no, we have to clear it, and wipes out a person and does it gutlessly. He just goes like, right, they're gone. But on the next transporter they do the same thing. It's like, no, not that one, that's my booze. You can't wipe that. Okay. Una versus Spock. We'll represent Una, and you guys can represent Spock. Illyrian versus Vulcan.
So the reason why Spock wins is because you have absolutely no idea where he is in terms of his consumption of alcohol. Una, regardless of what points you may make, she's going to show it while she's drinking. And Spock, you won't know until the moment he passes out. So I think that's going to be demoralizing, and that he's going to win any drinking match.
Interesting. Una has hidden qualities. We've seen her as a human drinking orb with the capacity. Only someone so bold could walk onto the Enterprise and eat a cheeseburger as her first appearance and sell it. I think this is a lady who will sink a few pints with that cheeseburger and definitely, outlast a Vulcan.
So the clincher. From Memory Alpha, some Illyrians, like Unich and Riley, were also modified with enhanced strength and an immune system that could literally burn out infectious agents from the body rather than rely on antibodies. She can literally destroy molecules of alcohol inside her body just by glowing.
Infectious alcohol, yes.
Yeah,
that's right.
And remind me again how many Klingons she drank under the table?
So far.
Dude, Spock was obviously tipsy in that scene. Come on.
He had two cups of blood wine and he was stumbling on the bridge. He was hiccuping. Yeah.
He was standing. The Klingons weren't. Thank you. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Swaying.
Those Klingons weren't all that. Did you hear them sing?
You bring great dishonor to your house.
Okay.
I wanted to go vote, but here we go.
Here it is.
I'm just going to vote for my own.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna vote for stars as well. Why am I here? Just to suffer? I'm oppressed. Help! I'm being oppressed. Oh, okay. We'll leave this to the fate of chat. I think I can't decide it. I don't know. I think Una would be underhanded, and I think she'd find some way of overcoming Spock's Vulcan, and she'd probably sort of say well, something must be wrong. You can't drink as well as a human could, and that would trigger him, and he'd be in a Vulcan rage.
Dude, she's genetically engineered to remove particles from her body. That's what you want when you're intoxicated. Now, has Spock ever drank otherwise in canon? Like gotten drink?
Not smashed. He must have had something
trying
with
to
Kirk,
think. Maybe Undiscovered Country had a glass of wine.
Maybe that's why he ran away to Romulus. He's so embarrassed being around the humans because Una was spreading shit about his drinking habits. He's like, no, I'm going to go to Romulus. I'm going to. These people don't drink.
So what you're saying is, if we concede and you march on to victory here, which it's tied in chat, which means you're just going to give yourself the win. It's not a fair and equitable court here. I know the deal. You're front loading the final three with an alcoholic facing his own inevitable death, an alcoholic with PTSD and a transport buffer full of Romulan ale, and a genetically modified secret alcoholic who can burn alcohol. Please tell me who's in the fourth division that we're about to vote on that can surely go against these three.
Well, believe it or not, Spock has just edged it out, so...
Oh, how dare you.
Interesting. We still got a bit of time.
That's rigged. People, go vote for Una, or I'm never coming on the show again.
You've said that so many times.
This is the last episode, so it's okay.
It's the first. This is the Alpha and the Omega. This is the only one we'll ever do.
I can't believe Stars showed up.
They pull me back in.
Did someone tell Stars this was number 100? Is that why he's here?
I think so. I'm not sure. What do you mean 100 of what? Like, what show could go 100?
Dalmatians.
Oh, right, I see. 100 dimensions. Okay, I think this is going to be Spock. Quick.
Right, I'm going to, hold on, I'm going to relog on another account and vote for Una.
While you're doing that, how about a little?
Yes, it's tied. Yes.
Oh my god.
I just put it back.
Well, in the event of a tie... Go on.
If it is tie, Idle is genetically modified to burn away any infectious votes from the poll, so he can choose what he wants.
Una edges the lead. Una's edge of the lead. It's going to end any minute now. Fuck it, I'm calling it. It's Una. Because it always was. Why would it be Spock? It couldn't admit that.
Yes.
There we go. Right. Final bracket. Me and Otto will be representing Ortegas. You gentlemen should be representing Chapel.
Dude, Stars and I are too competitive. That's why we can't do pros and cons. We would hate each other afterwards.
So the person that we're arguing for has to go against Una.
Yes. But I'll swap it. I'll make sure that you're advocating for Una.
No. I'm just saying. I mean, neither win. This is a pointless, fruitless endeavor. Both are human. Both are not modified. Both are not alien. Both are not cripplingly depressed with a beep beep chair in their future.
But are you guilty? Beep beep. He said yes. Take him away. I love it. All right. So Exhibit A, Ortegas. I think we're arguing for her, right?
We are. Yes.
Okay. She's a war veteran with PTSD. She couldn't even stand to be in the same room with a member of the species that she was fighting against. That to me spells drinker.
Yeah, but Chapel is a wine girl. You know, she likes to have a glass or two at dinner, and so I think that regardless of Ortega's past, I think Chapel's present enjoyment of a nice beverage from time to time should give her a little bit of resistance to the alcohol.
No. Chapel, she depressed drinks though. She does it because she's just pining after Spock, who also can't drink. The two of them together, she has the odd glass of wine, has a cry, and goes to sleep. But Ortegas, she's there. She's down at the Memorial Hall. She's pounding them back. You know, she's there at the Veterans Association. They're having a lot of drinks. It gets a bit out of hand at times, and she flies the ship. You can't fly the ship sober. Come on, especially something like the Enterprise.
Which means she never drinks. Which means she's not ready like Chapel, who has to drink to deal with Spock, and she drank a lot for that. And then look in Chapel's future. She has to. Roger Corby. You drink? He's not even real.
Idle. DM'd you.
DM. Hang on. Let's have a look.
Throw it up for the people.
Let me have a look.
Collusion, conspiracy.
Ooh.
No. This is fair and equitable. This is
very fair and equitable. This is the most fair and equitable thing we've ever done. Hang on. Give me a sec. Oh, wait. You can see what I'm doing on the check. Well, never mind. Right, hang on. No. Images. Oh.
This time I'm not voting for the person I'm trying to defend.
Right, let me go back to there. Right. Oh my god.
This are big drinkers.
These are
I take personal offense to that. Leave it to the Asian guy to say that. Of course he would. How dare he call me racist?
I can't find it where I put it now.
Did you? Come on, guy. Just put two pictures on the screen.
Hang on. My file system is a mess. Leave me alone.
So we were talking about just going back to the original Timeless Talks episode 1 setup with like the weird font and the bad microphones. How come we didn't do that for the pilot?
We just got weird guests.
We just got weird people. Here you go. You've now got wannabe 7 of 9 and someone with a decent haircut. Man, I hate trashing Chapel.
Wait, who's wannabe 7 of 9?
She looks a bit like 7 of 9 in that picture. A little bit. No? Anyone?
No.
Okay, I will say that green is, if you're drinking green stuff, is better. All right, Chapel wins, unfortunately.
Oh man, if I'd have voted for my Ortegas, dang it.
Can we vote to see whose bad idea this was? And I think the winner will be mine. Right, okay, so semi-final bracket. It is now Pike versus Mbenga.
Dude, this is great. I can read all of Star's comments in his own voice. They're much more biting that way.
Am I face blind? Yes. We're going to be going for Pike this time. You gentlemen will be voting for Mbenga. Who could drink who under the table here?
No, don't do that to me. Can we switch teams?
Sorry. Yeah, let's switch teams for the semis. It'll be me and Frank versus you and Dan. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
We'll we'll be voting for Mbenga and you'll be voting for Pike. Do you want to switch teams again?
I'm on Team Mbenga, so whatever you need to do to make that a thing.
All right, fine. You and Dan will be Mbenga, will be Pike. Pike, I think, is definitely got the experience to outdrink Mbenga. Mbenga would definitely get so far down the rabbit hole of his own thoughts that he will pass out, mostly through rage and anger, before Pike even finished his first whiskey.
So regardless, Pike is still human and still has had human experiences. Regardless of what his future holds for him, he is still but a man. Mbenga is so much more. His destiny is more. His ability to exist from day to day with the weight of his past upon him is such that without having to drink heavily, there's no way that he could even operate and function.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hate to introduce new evidence this late in the trial. However, I think it is time to bring facts to the galaxy and to all of you, and that is that the highest functioning alcoholic in Starfleet is, in fact, one Captain James T. Pike, captain of the USS Enterprise. And what do I mean by that? I mean he wakes up drunk. He drinks nonstop all day, every day. There is more alcohol in his system than there is blood at any moment. And the evidence I have for you is he once cooked Captain Battelle 2 spaghetti meals.
That's damning. Wow, that's damning. Very good, Frank.
This is true, though.
Protocol 12 was a drug formulated by Dr. Joseph Mbenga. It was a cocktail of adrenaline and pain inhibitors that increased physical capability at the cost of negative health effects. He literally created a drug to help him drink more alcohol. He killed hundreds of Klingons in the middle of a brutal war.
Sounds like he belongs in jail.
Pike is literally a Boy Scout. He's a Boy Scout. Oh no, I'm going to die in 10 years. Well, who cares? Mbenga's killed 30 times that many.
Name me one Boy Scout who doesn't drink.
People don't let Frank anywhere near your children, ever.
Oh my god, okay, that's the comment of the night. Well, chat is the options in chat were Pike and Mbenga, Nobody Knows the Trouble, I've Seen Nobody Knows, but Rod Serling. I think we're going to hand this one to Mbenga for the win on that one. I cannot argue. I will concede our point.
Hold on. He's gathering votes now, thanks to the Protocol 12 drug.
There you go. Okay, Una versus Chapel. Thanks to Frank's points earlier. Anyone? I will open volunteers for defending for Chapel. Okay. Also defending Chapel.
But you can't use my previous Una argument against me, because that's mine. I made it. So.
Okay.
Hoist by your own petard.
Yeah, I'll stand with you on Chapel. You gentlemen can vote. Okay. Give you the win here for Una.
Idle son of a bitch.
Lieutenant Commander Sharon Una is genetically modified. My Sharuna. She is genetically modified to take in anything and melt it. Steel beams, she melts just with her eyes. She shoots lasers from her eyes.
I must have missed that.
And can melt steel. So she sees an alcoholic drink and looks at it and just laser visions it, and it explodes. Alcohol can't handle her.
Illyrian beams can't melt duranium steel.
Now, who's the conspiracy theorist?
So, hold on. We're arguing for Chapel, right?
Yes.
All right. According to Memory Alpha, both of her parents had died by 2371, as had her sister. 3 family members died.
Wow.
Now, keep in mind, this was after her psychotic break, where she drank so much she literally thought she became Loxana Troy and lost all 3 of her family members. She had an episode where she completely disassociated from who she was because of her excess alcohol intoxication, and became not only Loxana Troy, but voiced the computer as well. She can drink for 3 people, not just 1.
Otto, my family was dead by 2371 too. That doesn't give me an excuse.
Well, then why you drink so much?
So Una has done hard time, and in that hard time, she learned to make toilet wine.
Pruno, you mean? Pruno?
Yep.
Call it by its proper name.
We know how you take the orange rinds, you take your packet of High C from the commissary, and you all mix it up. Get a plastic shopping bag. She knows the routine. She gets that up pretty high, about 120 proof, and yeah, that's her.
All right, I voted Una. Dude, the prison wine is put it over.
See, you know who else has taken Protocol 12? There's one Chapel herself. Also has had the benefits of the Protocol 12 alcohol burning thing, and she has also slain and killed many Klingons.
Hold on, I've got another one. Wouldn't you like to see Chapel versus Mbenga in the finals? After all of their repartee throughout 2 seasons, that would be hot shit. Nurse on Doctor Action at trektime.pornhub.com.
Hot shit is exactly how I would represent our current progress on the stream.
Look, chat voted me on. I'm gonna do my part to make sure that wasn't a bad decision.
Okay, this is looking like, well, it's 4 votes for Una and 3 votes for how cute Auto is. So I think Auto's the winner here, but I think it's going to be Una. Oh, how do I edit this?
He's a treat.
We are down for the final.
Damn. I'm on snack.
Joseph, Mbenga, Una Chin Riley. The final there. The drinks have been stacked. The pints are at the bar. The shots are in. The flaming sambucas are approaching terminal position.
The Orion Hurricanes are Category 5.
And this is going to be, I think this is going to be an open discussion. We'll take this all the way around. Una or Mbenga? One can burn up alcohol with his Protocol 12. The other can burn it through sheer force of will. Who's drinking who under the table here?
I am the butcher of alcohol. That's what he said.
So this is Captain America with a super soldier serum versus Deadpool with a genetically enhanced ability to recover. So interesting.
You nerd.
I think I'm going Deadpool. I think it has to be Una. There's something that sets her apart, and there's a reason why she was arrested and why there was so much of a stigma against her kind and engineered entities in Starfleet.
She just racks up so much
because they're
bar tabs.
Right, yeah, she ran out of Federation credits. Yeah.
But then there's Mbenga, and have you seen him? Like that's my argument. Just have you seen him? Yeah, Auto's looking something up. Frank, what you got?
I almost wonder if it's a tie because he would be powered up on his steroids, ready to fight and kill her for the last beer, the last Cerveza Cristal at the bar. They both walk up to the bar at the...
All right, I'll get him out again.
Good lad.
They're at the bar. They're both very troubled people, raging alcoholics. They both stumble up to the bar at the same time, wanting a drink, and there's only one left. And now they have to fight to the death. And Babs rips his shirt off, much to Otto's enjoyment. And he's like genetically on steroids and Protocol 12, and he's ready to go. And Una just shoots her laser eyes at him.
Do you think she does the thing, like in X-Men, Iceman, he holds Wolverine's bottle and cools it down. Do you think she just grabs his pint and just heats it up with her, can she do that, or can she just burn off infection? I don't know, can she?
I sent you Exhibit A for...
Let me have a look.
For evidence. And I need that on screen.
Jesus. It certainly will be on
So,
screen.
You mentioned Una's prison stint. How many prison sentences do you think Mbenga would get for his slaughter of dozens, if not hundreds, of Klingons?
He'd be promoted.
Yet again, using the future argument that failed for Pike when he dropped in the semis.
What future argument? He killed them in canon on the show. We see that, right?
Right, but you're talking about potential prison sentences earned.
Uh-huh. I got nothing. I'm just staring at Babs on screen. Thank you, Adam.
Well, chat is voting quite heavily in favor of Mbenga. To be
This is rigged. You know, we go through the first 3 hours of the show, and then Otto shows up, and suddenly it's all about Babs. Almost as if his army of bot accounts followed him in.
Babs bots.
To be fair, I Una would probably win, but I just voted for Mbenga because I like him. Because when the serum wears off, and he drinks to forget, there's a theoretical tolerance limit for humans, but the genetically engineered Illyrians could probably go pretty hard in the paint and be okay. So,
I think we might have to go against chat here. I think it is sounding like Una. I think we're all saying Una, but chat's saying Mbenga. So do we alienate our audience on our very first episode? Is that what happens?
What?
Both of them.
I think we've been doing that since we started.
Give the win to Scotty.
It's Scotty. Okay, it's a tie. They both lose to Scotty. Hurrah! We did it. Well
Yay,
done.
Scotty.
Yay.
Because I think the climber wants to hug the mountain, envelop that mountain, to make love to the mountain.
Thank you, Mr. Shatner. That's very good. Okay. Well, I think that about wraps up this wonderful evening's worth of entertainment. I said I was going to differentiate this from the Big Book podcast somehow, and that's how we've done it, with pure, utter insanity.
Sex appeal.
We lost that a while ago.
Assimilate this.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf.
If the Big Book podcast turned their cameras on, the show would stand no chance against those handsome gentlemen.
We'd be dead. We'd be dead. We'd be gone. That'll be it. Just on a side note as well, this month of May marks 4 years this channel has been running. 4 glorious, wonderful years that we have been providing quality entertainment for a couple of episodes at least. But yeah, 4 years.
Entirely on the back of Star's likability and hair flips.
Pretty much. When Stars
has carried this channel.
Dearly departed us, R.I.P. We'll miss you dearly.
Can't believe he's been dead since 2371.
It's crazy.
Along with his parents and sister.
Yeah. We'll be...
What wonderful news.
We'll be...
R.I.P. Stars. Which one's dead, man?
Wow. Okay, excuse me. I've got cough again. Right, thank you, everyone. Keep an eye out. May 19th is our charity show where we'll be supporting the World Central Kitchen. We'll have some details up soon about what we're going to be doing, who's going to be on it, but we will have an interview with some wonderful people, including Jörg Hillebrand and Bernd Schneider from the Exastris website. We're also going to have some Jeopardy champions on from Big's own sources, and apparently they are quite big Star Trek fans too, so keep an eye for that. I'll have some details. We're going to have a fun night's worth of entertainment to help us raise charity for the World Central Kitchen. If you're about on Sunday, I'm going to do some more wrestling we're going to enter the SmackDown era. We're going to have some hot matches, some hot bouts. you'll be able to bet and win some hair flips as well. So come in and join us.
Dude,
for
Idol
that.
is so excited for wrestling. He's been sending me pictures of like 1980s episodes of WWF, and
I've been watching it. It's crazy. People then had different body shapes. They're like, look at him. He's a superb specimen of a man. It's like, no, he's just fat. Look at him. He's just ridiculous.
he's a mauler. That's what he is.
But then there was like one wrestling match. Cyndi Lauper turned up. Like, okay, it's now this big fat guy versus Cyndi Lauper. What?
WWF Hall of Famer Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, really?
We were talking about doing a themed weekend where we watched Tsunkatse.
I can't do that.
And there's a boxing episode of Twilight Zone, and then we'll maybe watch like a WWF classic wrestling match or something.
Yeah. I'd kind of be down for that. Let's do that. But otherwise, go and have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, Frank and Dan and Otto, for enduring this pilot episode of whatever this was.
This waterboard torture, as it was.
Yeah, I may do it again. I don't know. If I've got nothing better to do, maybe we'll come back. Who knows? We'll come back and moan some more about HG games and all that. But for now, thank you for joining us. Live long and prosper. And
it's all set.
What's all set?
I got Hooker lined up with a dude who's going to give him the deal of a lifetime in a new Porsche.
A Porsche?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe you should wait. You might get a better deal through the state.
Yeah?
Yeah, we just did some story on a guy who's selling stolen Porsches off a lot on Main. Real sleazy character.
What's his name?
Delvin, Kelvin,
Melvin?
Timelines Talks presents Timelines Players of Genius.
Timelines Players of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Builds a Threshold Cruise Equipment Guy.
Mr. Builds a Threshold Cruise Equipment Guy.
Saving chronotons has never felt sweeter, but there's just one problem. You've been programmed for years to press that yellow button no matter what.
Dance, monkey dance.
You thought you'd just get ready to craft, but never has pressing a button felt so wrong.
Try again.
Now it's time for the walk of shame in your fleet's Discord. Maybe he needs 2 gold uniforms. It's just a few crowns. We've all done it, right guys?
I don't think so.
So crack open an ice cold supply kit, Galaxy Guy, because your inventory is overfull and that uni isn't going anywhere.
Mr. Builds a Threshold Cruise Equipment Guy.
Timeline Talks, a Trek Time subsidiary, Hollywood, California.